it's Laura. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so incredibly excited because CORTIS is back with ACAI. I cannot wait to see what this is going to be about because we've already had 2 releases from them for this album. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen here. So let's get started. Okay. Interesting. Really building by just repeating. Ooh, I love how random it seems like their MVs are, but they always have a purpose. Like when you think pretty deeply about them. Interesting. Ooh, I like that change. Interesting the way it's cutting there. Okay, CORTIS always impresses me because they always manage to create a sound that is them, but it's so different from what we just listened to. And I do want to see if I can pull up the lyrics separately, just because I like to read through them on a separate page. It's just easier for me to look into. Okay. The main thing here I noticed was obviously repetition, and there's definitely something that goes with this, but how is it related? I'm not 100% sure. I think for me, that's something I'm definitely going to have to read into a little bit more, and maybe we can figure that out together, or you guys can let me know. I'm hoping that we get an interview with them where they talk about this album. I just think it's so interesting to hear from their perspective of why they create music in the manner that they do it, because it's always just interesting to listen to. So from the beginning, the repetition of "who is choking, I don't care." And then we go into the chorus, "Gulp, gulp, pull, pull, I just choke on acai," which I really love the rhythmic part of this. Gulp, gulp, pull, pull, I just choke on acai. And then they use the acai to go a little bit up higher, which was really nice. After one drink, the mood rises. If you shake it, it's all samba, which I'm thinking like samba, like the dance samba. Even my tongue turns purple, just like a genie from Aladdin. So if we think about this, I think you could view it in a couple of different ways. I'm curious of the way they think about it. For me, this kind of feels like as we go on, like Fame. It kind of makes me think of that, but I'm not 100% sure because I remember a couple things from later. We'll go into it, but I'll see if it matches my thought process and let you guys know in a second. So All I Want Is, yeah. I love too how they use syllables and things to like either make a rhythm longer or to rhyme with it or things like that. I think that's very clever. Then we go into the post-chorus. 100 acai, bring the acai, gulp, gulp, pull, pull, I just choke on acai, I really like it. Verse 1, removing that disappointing taste, the toppings with no roots. Let me change the scene like a famous actor's action. An all-night session, check into a new hotel, then check out the next day with the luggage loaded on my shoulders. From this, it made me think of like, this is kind of like what I meant with Fame, like, or like not being satisfied. That could also be another thing that it feels like, because this verse made it feel like not being satisfied with the music that you created, and like because they're so involved in their music, like they talk about going to sessions like all the time and creating music. And then I think when they mentioned their first album, they were like, we had written like over 600 songs or something like that. It was like an obnoxiously big number, and I was like, what? all before like before their debut album. And so it's not surprising that, they feel kind of the weight of the world on their shoulders. That's kind of what I'm getting from some of this. And I'm wondering like if it's like the pressure of everything, but at the same time that's challenging to them, so they want to experience that pressure. I'm curious. Then it continues, like a donkey, east, west, south, north, around the world once. As I go around once, suddenly it rings. Ba ring, ba re ring. An alarm at my belly button. It's time for acai. It's time for acai. Interesting. So this makes me think again of the Fame aspect, right? Going around the world. Also like the music aspect, going around the world to meet with different producers to create different things. So maybe it's like the pressure of everything. Then it goes into the chorus again. Gulp, gulp, pull, pull. I just choke on acai. I almost can't say that part without doing it in the rhythm. After two shake, the mood rises. If you shake it, it's all samba. Even my tongue turns purple, just like a genie from Aladdin. All I want is yeah. And then has that post chorus again that goes into the second verse. Acai stained tea, acai stained pants, acai stained album. I make a jam out of it. So thinking about relating that to kind of red kind of idea. I grow the trend, bury it on SNS. This line too also hit me because it was like Cortis has done like a lot of like trend growth, right? But then they said bury it all on SNS. Interesting. So like trying to hide like certain instances within their trends. Stack and stack and stack. But I ain't trying to blend. We only lock it in with real ones. I left traveling 30,000 leagues to find something proper. In an all-night session, check into a new hotel. Then check out the next day with the luggage loaded on my shoulders. So again, it feels like the pressure that they're creating on themselves, but they're looking for real connection within that as well, which if we think about to their last release, how they were basically like, it was kind of felt like the parasocial relationship where like they were like getting chased by sasaengs and like all of that kind of stuff. This feels kind of like almost a response to that kind of feeling. And then it continues. I wanted to see if there was anything else. Yeah, no other new words to it. But yeah, I think I could be 100% wrong. But based off the lyrics and just like the video and all this kind of stuff, it feels like they're trying to get across their most authentic self, always. In all of the music that they've released, that always feels like their goal is to show the world who they are through their music. And I think that by doing certain aspects, they try to relate it to things that have happened to them in their life, or to one of them, or to like things that they have seen. So I definitely think that this is, you know, kind of a follow-up onto their most recent release as well, their previous release, because that definitely feels like what they're kind of responding to, that they're looking for authentic people, even though they're like doing quite well for themselves. They're famous, right? They're still looking for like genuine connection, like all of that kind of stuff. And it feels like the ACAI is kind of like the pressure they put on themselves. But I'm curious what you guys think, because I feel like too, their songs are so good about like making people relate to them in their everyday lives. So it's interesting to see like theories and see what other people think. And I'm definitely gonna go like down to the comments after this and like read and see what everyone thinks, because I'm so curious about it. But I have to say, my favorite part about this is definitely the repetitive aspect, and the acai part, the rhythmic element of that, because it really just like got caught up in my mind, and it was a really good thing to hold on to. So tell me what your guys' thoughts are down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite part of the song or MV? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.